working now, ain't it? Yes, it is. Because I can hear myself. Alright, so that's working. What's up, Sergio? How was life? Sleep. Wait. Why is it picking up anything? I can hear myself, which I shouldn't be able to do. Why is that happening? It's not a big deal. Is it echoing for you guys? What's up, Michael? I'm more worried if it's echoing for you guys. I really want to be able to use my phone. I just dribbled coffee. What mic is it using? What speakers? Is it using? No, it's using this. It's tunes. Yes, what? Yes doesn't tell me anything. Yes, you're getting an echo. It's correct. Like, I say tunes. Why is it having issues? There's absolutely no reason this fucking thing should be having any fucking issues. And it won't let me listen to it. Guys, so I'm really getting fucking tired. I'm about ready to trash this fucking computer. Can you tell it? It's just too fucking old. I'm going to shut down and restart it. Yeah, but it's not. It's going through that fucking mic. It's not going through the headset. And it's feeding back in my ears. Now it's saying it is right. Now it's saying it's going through this and it's coming back to this. But why am I getting my own sound? I shouldn't be getting any sound. And why won't it let me turn on the sound in StreamYards? Like I'm looking at Twitch now, and it won't let me turn my. I think it's actually Twitch because if I get rid of the Twitch window, it all stops. I'm about ready to go. Tim's got nothing on me when I really get pissed off, buddy. Right now, I'm playing with it. The lights are blowing out that camera. There's nothing I can really do about that other than point it at the floor, which is no freaking good. I really wanted to be able to use the iPhone as a secondary like room camera because it's got a halfway decent wide angle view. Well, you're supposed to be able to lower a little bit, but now it's just like catching the floor. Not really. Yeah, that's freaking pointless. Otherwise, it gets the lights in the windows. It's a little better, but it's still the lights are like hazing out the top of the image. Yeah, I'm about ready to dump Twitch. If I could make even the thing is Twitch is paying for StreamYards. If I don't do Twitch, I can't use StreamYards. I mean, I can go back to the free version, but there is definitely advantages to having the $10 a month. That's all I'm paying is $10 a month. And there's, I'd love to be able to like hook up OBS on this thing. There's no way this old ass computer could run OBS. Not even likely. All right, but we do have sound and everything, right? Which is okay. The color is very yellow coming out of that camera. I don't know if I can set the color. Not that it matters. I mean, who gives a crap what coloring it is? That stupid camera. I think that's the one that either you, Sergio, or did you send me that camera, or did Vince? 3D Medic Vince. I think actually Vince did. One of you guys. One of you two. I can't remember which one of you sent it. I got a box about the same time from both of you back then. It's like a year ago. But it's cheap. It's like a $9 camera. It's actually a halfway decent picture. All right. We have sound. I think what I'll do is just unplug this. I had it plugged in so it stay charged. But then I can do stuff like this without moving that camera and let you be able to see the table. And supposedly the front camera is more better than the back camera on that one. They switched them around recently, but I want to know why the top's so hazy though. There is not that much light glaring off of that. Where's the camera? That kind of gets rid of it, huh? I need to put like a sunshade on it. Needs to have a little sunshade. You know what it is? It's probably glaring. That's just what it is. I have a, I can see it now. I have one of those Gorilla Glass protectors on it, and the very edge of the cutout for the lens of the camera, because there's a cutout for the camera. I think the very edge of the Gorilla Glass is like right in line with the edge of the camera, so it's getting that haze from the edge of it. Where if I can block off the light a little bit with some blue tape, blue tape for the win. I think I can make a little instant sun shield out of blue tape. That helped a little bit, huh? It's not perfect, but it helped a little bit. Use sunglasses. I don't think they would work. That cuts it down a little. Supposedly the front-facing camera on this one is better than the rear-facing, but I don't think it is. I think the other one, the other face, the back camera is better. Let's switch around since we're being stupid and find out more. Settings, camera, front camera, back camera. And that's not as bleached out, is it? And that's actually almost pointing up to a light. Let's see what happens when I switch that thing around. Oh, this thing holds tight, which is good, but is it all bleached out on top? It's not. I do think it's that Gorilla Glass. That does look like a better camera image, huh? I'm pretty sure it's the Gorilla Glass lens. All right, now that we got that sorted out, could you tell I was getting really freaking pissed off at it? I don't often get that pissed off, but every once in a while, I really want to get rid of this thing, and I think I'm just gonna trash it. It's been giving me other problems, which is why I was pissed off at it. I wanted to run the CNC last night, and it wouldn't. It just said, nope, not happening. Nope, not happening. Because it was just freaking out. And I think it's just on its lap. I mean, I can't. I've gotten my money's worth out of this freaking computer. This thing's what, 12, 13-year-old computer? Can't complain. It was only like $800 when we bought it for iBook. That's a lot. That's cheap. It's really cheap, actually. iBook Snow. I don't think people realize everyone's bitching about the new Mac Mini. The Mac Mini dropped $100, and they went to an M2 chip from the M3 chip or the M1 chip. The new one's actually $100 cheaper than the M1 chip one is. I think they're going to drop the M1 chip one $200. Supposedly you can still get it. And I may just pull out my really old Mac Mini that I was using before my brothers bought me the M1 last year, Or was it 2 years now? Was it 2 years ago they gave me that thing? How old is that thing? It's only a year. Maybe it was two. I don't know. It's all a blur. Anyway, the I may pull the old Mac Mini out, which is still newer than this and more powerful. Blah 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 blah. It would do this better out here. How old is this? It's a 2009 2010. It's old. This was my father's. I bought my mother a top of the line. Oh my God. Her computer, wait till you hear this. I maxed out her computer when I bought it. I bought her and dad a computer. And I actually talked to dad before I did it. And he's like, don't buy me anything special because all I do is surf websites with it. I don't do anything on it. He's like, I would love a laptop to sit in my little lounge chair and surf. And back then they didn't have like tablets. I did get him a tablet eventually. But when I bought him this, I bought my mother the largest, most powerful, completely maxed out 17-inch Power Mac or PowerBook or whatever it was, the aluminum, MacBook at the time, 2009, 2010. I think it was 2009. Biggest, baddest, bestest one you could get. Everything in it. Biggest hard drive, biggest frickin' RAM, best screen, everything. It was like $5,000. The thing lasted 2 years. I had a known issue where the cable in the hinge of the screen, when you open and close it, would snap. And they actually replaced it. They replaced it 3 times before I gave up on it. Every time for free. And the last time was out of warranty. It was like out of warranty like 2 months. And I had the extended warranty, and they'd already done it twice. And when I called them, I was very polite, but I was like, look, you've replaced this thing twice. Obviously, you're not replacing it correctly, or you're still using a bad part because it's bad again, and I should get another one. They said, oh, yeah, sure. We'll pay for shipping and everything. And they rebuilt the thing. Not only that, they said there was it was missing feet, and it had all kinds of little things. There was a crack in the bezel. They're like, oh, we put a new bezel on. We're so sorry. This was after it was out of warranty. And I had gotten their extended warranty. I had gotten their 3-year extended warranty. It was only like 2 months out of warranty, and they fixed everything. But it just happened again like 6 months, a year later. And at that point, I was like, that's it. And I got her a desktop. That was the first Mac Mini we got. That's when the Mac Minis came out. Or they've been out, but that's when I started buying them. I haven't looked back. Anyway, so that's better. This is working. That's working. We can go back to here. We can see both. I'm going to have to fiddle with where I'm going to put that, or if I'm just going to use it to move around. But that is better than fiddling with that. I can actually put that, just leave it there. It can be there forever. And I can move that around for like close-ups and what I'm actually doing, because that's light and easy. The tripod, actually, it's a $12. I think I paid $12, $10, something like that for that tripod. It's actually pretty nice. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's flimsy. It's lightweight, but it is all aluminum, and it's, pretty well built, and, well, they don't touch. If I pick it up and move it, it's flimsy and shaky, but it's not flimsy like I think it's going to break. It's just thin sheet aluminum rolled into a tube. But I think it'll work just fine for what I'm going to use it for. I can actually use that in the house. I don't know if you guys remember when I actually did 3D printing on streams. I used to film some of it and build it, and I'm going to get back into doing some of that too, because I'm going to get back into doing that. First off, I got to rebuild Sergio's freaking Prusa Bear that he sent me that's still not running right, which I think I figured out what's wrong with it. There's some crap in the heat break, and I can't get it out. I've heated it up and everything, but it doesn't. It just charred up inside, so now it's too rough. So I think I just need to go and what is a freaking heat break for a V6? Like $15 or something. I think I just need a new heat break for it. Or I may just put the Omnia Drop on there because I have the Omnia Drop now from the pumpkin that I tore down. For now, I could put that on there. It would take a little finagling, but for a mount, but I could easily make a mount for it. Vince, just talking about you. Pretty sure you're the one that sent me this camera, right? The little crappy make-believe Logitech 922 or 911 or whatever they are. But it actually works pretty good. It's a wider angle than the Logitechs are. But it's actually not a bad image for what it is. I'm pretty sure you sent me that, right? It was either you or Sergio. Yeah, there you go. It was Vince. You sent me all the little pies and everything too, right? I put that right there. Gets a nice shot of the table without being right in my face. The other thing with using this laptop is I can't see the screen. It's just too small. If I bring, I'm seriously considering bringing. I have to get it back from my neighbor, but she's not using it, so she won't care. I gave my my Mac Mini when my brothers bought me the M1. The Mac Mini I was using, I gave to my neighbor because literally the day after I got the M1, her computer crapped out, so I gave it to her. But she never set it up or did anything. I plugged it into her TV and she never used it. Yeah, don't worry about it. I can get a heat break for it. And I'm not even positive, so I don't want to do that. I think I have one. I just got to find it. Because I had V6s before, tons of them. Anyway, I need to get to actual work here. So let's do that first. And I think I was going to wax this, but I think it's going to get another oil coating because this thing is bone dry, and I re-soaked it again last night after soaking it in the stream, and it is basically bone dry again. But it looks really pretty. Isn't that pretty? Just wait for that. I really like this side too, especially now that it's soaking up the oil and you can see all the green and the cherry and the maple. I got some grain that raised that I must have missed. Since the oil's all dried out, I might actually hit it with some like 220 real quick. I think I'm gonna. Because there's a little bit of grain raising. I wonder if I even got 240. I think I do. I have some 240. How big does this go to? 220 is the highest it goes to. Why am I thinking I got 220 or 240 somewhere? There's a piece of 220 here. A whole bunch of 220. What is this? Oh, this is 320. I did have some. Thought I did. This is that really good crap. It's really good, but it's kind of crap. But I think I'm going to use that. Just give it a brushing off. This won't really matter, even though this is all full of oil. What I don't want to do is push the points into the back of it, even though it's just the back. Little sanding makes everything go better. Makes everything that much smoother and nicer. I had a little hissy fit on my computer earlier, you guys saw, right? Every once in a while, I just get to the point where I've had enough. And I've kind of had enough with this computer. It's about done. I can't believe I didn't break it. I wasn't really. It looked like I was hitting it harder than I was, but I was not happy. I don't often spaz out, but when I do it good. Not even gumming it up. How much of the oil it just sucked up after sitting on the top. Normally I would never sand after oiling like that. It would just gum up the sandpaper. This is actually pretty dry. I really need to get that vise done and put dog holes in this bench so I don't have to sit here and hold it like this. Sanding away. It is a lot nicer. I had some fuzzies. It's freaking rocking on me because I can't hold it still. Because I can't hold it still. Last hit on the top. I can't believe that sucked up that much oil. And it did suck it up. And I wrapped the beeswax freaking thing in here. Back in a bit. Got to make a grocery run. Well, you do that. Groceries are kind of a necessity. We're supposed to get snow pretty soon, anytime now. Actually, we're supposed to be getting it already. Supposed to be getting snow already. Those are 1-footers or 18-inchers or something like that. So here we have a big chunk of wood all glued together now. And looking at R8, there's a little bit of a gap there. And these kind of spread a little bit, which I kind of figured they would. But it doesn't matter because it's just a clamp. A vise. Oh, crap, this is heavy. It's on the clamp, the actual vicey part. This is going to be the mount under the bench, which is why it's actually smaller, because it's got the actual bench top to deal with. Where this has to cover the bench top. So it needs to be a little wider. I'm actually trying to take these apart. Organization of the clamps. The different kinds of clamps. Even though these look the same, they are not. These ones here are super beefy. I don't even know where these came from. Probably says, since the tag's still on them. 1900. They were $9.99. But it doesn't say where from. And they got no name. I think these are actually the original Harbor Freight cheapos from way back in 2000. It would not surprise me at all. In the slightest. Let's see, these three are those 1-footers. These are all 18s. I don't know what I was trying to do there. Stupid. I think I have too many 18s for the rack. 1-footers, I should say. I do. Which is why I went to this rack. What I'll do is put all of these over here. Have these over here because I don't use these ones as much. Three more. Jesus, I had pretty much every clamp I owned out except for the big massive 3-footers and the 4-footers. I need to do another reorganization of this area because it is not correctly storing clamps. But anyway, on to a better note. We have, this thing's freaking heavy, big chunk of wood, or two, Jorgensen's make the worst feet too. What's up, non-fam? How is life? I think this puppy needs to go through the joiner. Get flattened out. I think this puppy needs to go through the joiner and get flattened out. Should have cleaned this off while it was wet, but I didn't, because I'm a dumbass. Oops. Cut right into the oak, I did. That's not good. That's not good at all. Let this, really not even worried about this face, because this will be like on the back side. So if it's not perfectly flat, I don't care, but I think I still want to flatten it out somewhat. Maybe I'll just run it through the planer after I joint the edge. Let us make noise. We like noise. I just cleaned out the cyclone tank on the vacuum. Ow. And dumped it out into the compost pile. And I want to move this away because that's a nice fresh board. Yep. This is still a little bit bigger bite. Like a full 16th of an inch. Tell me, like up between 5. Oh, it's not cut in there. That's why, dumbass. Oh, you idiot. I got the fence back too far. That will help. Actually, I want to bring it forward and use different blade area. It can be enough. Here it is. There we go. Thought I had it slid all the way back. There we go. Good for really expensive spiral head. One more pass. Ain't that pretty. So actually, I'm using it correctly. Alright, I want this to be my finished face, so everything needs to reference that. Let's do the same thing to this. Ain't that pretty? God, that is pretty. So I'm just going to clean this up, even though I might be cutting it again, to actually size it. I just want to get all the burly edge off. This might actually stress this poor little table saw out. This is a big chunk of oak. I don't know why I bother with the table saw, because I don't have the vacuum head set up. But, you know, that's life. Here, let's make it so you can actually see me cutting. So if I, you know, blow my hand out, it'll, you'll be able to see it. If you haven't seen it, if you don't know who it is, I know most of you guys are 3D printing folk that are watching this with me. But there's a guy called Lincoln Street Woodworks, who's just fun to watch. Even if you're not really into woodworking, he's just fun to watch. But he just did a table saw safety video, which this table saw doesn't apply for because this thing is far from safe, which is why you always see me stand off to the side, either there or over here. I never stand behind it because this thing is freaking so unsafe. It is so old. But he did this whole video, and he clipped like the whole video every like 30 seconds. He goes on about the next what's dangerous thing, and you know, on a table saw. And he shows some clip off of YouTube of somebody getting whacked or getting their finger freaking stuck in a saw. Or it's kind of funny. It's kind of gross and kind of funny, all at the same time. The rest of the table saw out. Ouch. There's a sliver in the finger. Yeah, right there. Wood and shady. Just one slim, thin piece of freaking wood. That looks pretty. Is it perfect? Nope. Is it good enough for what I'm going to use it for? Yep. Let's knock this one down. Just a hair. Right about there. Here's the blade, huh? Oh, you gotta go much higher. Oh, that's it. It's max. Oh well. I can't really flip it over. Gosh darn it. Oh well. Almost there. Thin pickings. Literally like a hair's width off the top. Like that's how much it just breaks right off. This seems sharp enough to do this. Seems to be. I should sharpen it, actually. You know, if I actually got a chisel, even though none of my chisels are all that sharp, some of them are at least decent. Or plane, but I don't have a good plane because I'm not a plane guy. And actually, I wouldn't mind having a good plane. My problem is I'm absolutely terrible at sharpening. That's why these all suck. I'm just terrible at it. My hands are too not symmetrical. I don't know how else to describe it. I can't do things evenly flat. I always arc. Red light! What's up, buddy? Hacking up some wood and stuff. This is the jaw. This is the stationary. I might as well make the stationary pretty darn close to actual size. That side's got the opening. So let's cut this. That's not how that was supposed to go. That was supposed to go into the box, not onto the floor. A vacuum power. Look, I can bring the stupid little camera around. And you should be able to actually see what I'm doing now. I really can't see because the screen's covered with the tripod. Yeah. Look at you. There's a chunk of oak. So I'll leave that right there because I'm going to be right back there in a second. I'm just going to make this generally the right length. Add a half an inch or so. Did I just have a pencil out? Thought I did. Thought I did. But that's close enough. I made it deliberately long. Of course, I marked the wrong side. That's all right. Can I do this, Steve? I don't think I can. Kind of close enough. This way, because those are two flattened faces. Big chunk of wood. Gonna get burnt. The neighbor's gonna burn it. Gonna get burnt. Then I can just take this here puppy. Yes, that's the back side. Just roughly mark it in here. So it's approximately, again, this isn't finished. This is just making it easier to manhandle, being a little closer to the actual size. So I'm going to change that. Because that's got to go there. Oh, that'll work. It's very close. I go right here. Again, this is just rough. It's too big. So it don't matter all that much. Well, is it close? Oh, you can tell the difference between white oak and red oak. This is white oak. That was red oak. This is actually thinner. It's having a harder time cutting through it. Nice ridge. That's pretty. Nice. It's pretty. So this is going right here. Strapped up underneath here. And then this goes on the face. And then I drill holes and all that good crap. I'm debating on whether I bring this all the way back or not. I don't think I'm gonna. The other thing I gotta do is, even though I planed this, I didn't round off the table, the bench. I rounded off the bench. I didn't round off. I did round off the bench. So I'm gonna have to square it up again. Right here. Right there. I'm gonna have to square it off on the crane. Too old? What's too old? Me or the saw? Or both? Saw is old. It's back when Hitachi was still a good brand. Well, I've actually had people saying now that what the hell is it? I want to say Meta. Can't think of the name. Meta something. Metabo, something like that. Who bought out Hitachi, which is actually a decent German company, but they bought out Hitachi to make their cheap crap. Has actually brought the quality back up. Hitachi was actually halfway decent. Hitachi was a good middle of the road. Hitachi was a great homeowner brand back 10 years ago, or a middle of the road professional brand. I would generally, in cordless tools, I would generally take Hitachi over DeWalt, but they're pretty close. Certain benchtop tools, the jointer, the job site table saw. Oh my God, job site table saw. There's nothing like the DeWalt. Hitachi makes one very similar now. It's a piece of garbage. I had it. I literally returned it, and that was like 5-6 years ago. The fence on it, it had the rack and pinion fence, but it was so sloppy, it was absolutely useless. I've seen a couple of reviews of the saw stop, which they've licensed that fence. If you see someone with the rack and pinion fence, they licensed it from DeWalt. Whoever's DeWalt's mother company is TMI or TCI or whatever the hell it is. But even the saw stop fence, people are saying is a little sloppy in comparison to the DeWalt one. This thing, I mean, you can see the size difference. It's a little thinner, but it's a lot taller. There's more wood here, but it's way thinner. It's probably twice the weight of this, easily. Should I run this through the planer? We probably should. Just so, I mean, this is the back, and there's nothing there. Not getting attached to anything, but I think it'll just make me happier. But that means opening the door and getting cold. I really don't want to do that. plug holes in this piece, but oh well. It's looking pretty sweet. I think that's how I'm going to mount that one. I wonder if I should run this through the planer too, just to square it all up. Oh boy, decisions. I mean, it's getting cold. It's very cold out. It's only like 30 degrees out. It's supposed to be snowing. I haven't seen any snow yet. The state is supposed to get snow. We're going to end up being rain. See, their chop boxes are one of my least favorite. I hate their miter boxes. I'll take that thing over DeWalt. I mean, this is one of the old Hitachis. This is one of the best ones back in the day. The only better than that thing when I bought that was my old Makita 1013. There is nothing that beats the Makita 1013. That thing is a monster, but you just can't get it anymore. And Makita went cheap, and they actually have a new model that's very close to the original 1013, but it's just not the same. My neighbor has my original 1013, and I'm kind of pissed off that I let him have it. I should have rebuilt it myself, because there's nothing like that 1013. That is the stiffest, straightest, heaviest miter box in the world. But I got staircase guys that do really fancy staircase, and they swear by that Hitachi, but only the old ones like that. He'll go and buy old ones like that. Like if I call him up, he'd give me probably what I paid for that right now, and he'd take it and rebuild it, because that original Hitachi from like 99, 2000, that's like a 2001, 2002, when it was still Hitachi. But any of the C10s, any of the C10F, any of the C10FS, he loves them because they're super stiff and they're super straight, so he can cut real fancy like miters. He does all kinds of fancy spiral stairs. He does all stuff out on in Montauk and stuff, like really high end shit. He absolutely loves that Hitachi. He'll take that over any saw. I liked my Makita better. He actually liked my Makita. He used it a couple times when we were working together because mine was there and he didn't want to set his up to make one cut. He's like, this thing's pretty nice too. But I got rid of the Makita because I got to a job site. The guys working for me forgot their saw, and they're like, oh, can we use yours? I'm like, sure. They weren't my good crew. I had 200 guys. I had crews of like 5 or 6 guys, and I had the 5 or 6 good crews. I had the medium crews, and then I had the guys that just did the little crap work nobody cared about. And these were the crap work guys. I'm like, yeah, sure. And they picked it up, and they put it on that stand, because I had that stand at the time. They didn't lock it in. They didn't clip it into the stand. So they had it all set, unlocked it, slid it back, and it fell on the ground. And they cracked the base plate. The whole freaking base plate. And I was like, that's it. I get a new saw. So I went and got a new saw. Brought that home, was going to scrap it. My neighbor said, I want it. I love that saw. I'm like, dude, it's going to cost you almost as much to have the faceplate replaced as buy a new saw. He's like, I don't care. And he went out and bought a new faceplate or base plate for it and rebuilt the whole thing. He used it for years before he passed away. And now his wife's got it and she won't let me have it back. I just gave it to him. I mean, he didn't put a lot of money in it. He didn't just replace the faceplate. He put like new bearings and the freaking glides, and he did a lot of work on it. Now it's just a rusted pit because she's one of those, if it's yours, it's not worth anything. And if it's mine, it's worth twice as much just because it's mine, even though it's the exact same thing. So, she's one of those type of people. So I can't get it back. I mean, she's all right. I was like, can I have my saw back? It's like, no, what am I going to do with a saw? It's like, you're going to use a saw. You don't even use the thing. So there it sits. It's in their basement, covered in rust. That thing's probably worth $1,000 as it sits because they're kind of like the the old Porter Cable left-handed saws, which I have one of. I paid $89 for that saw, and I was offered $250 for it like a year ago, and that's like a 98, 99. The old left-handed magnesium bed Porter cables. Everybody wants them because they're left-handed, and they got balls up the yin yang for such a small saw. They're wicked light and they're wicked ballsy and they're wicked true. If you don't crack, that's the only problem. Is the original magnesium beds stayed super flat, but if you dropped it, it would just crack it and it was useless. Or if you dropped the Makitas or the Makita. Everyone else used Makita or Milwaukee. It just had the sheet metal beds that were garbage. You dropped it, just bent the bed, but you could still use it on a construction site. Them Porter cables were dead ass accurate. I still got that puppy. It's right there underneath the bandsaw. I pull it out every once in a while. It's still got nut. It would probably rip through this oak easier than that table saw did. Okay, now I gotta decide what I'm gonna do here. I think I should really clean the back side of this off, even though I don't really want to because I don't want to open the garage door. I should probably decide which side I want to use that's flat on here and plane this because this has got a slight arc to it. A slight arc. Where's my true square? Yeah, it's not terrible, but it does. And that side's almost dead flat. It's not quite, but it's almost. That's the side I referenced. Yeah, I guess I gotta open the garage door and run the planer. Oh well. It's cold out and it's gonna be noisy. Frickin' chair. I put the roller skate wheels on it, which roll really, really nicely. The problem is they roll way too nicely. And it likes to roll away and get in the way. And I got to put an outlet. It's my next wiring thing. I got to put an outlet over there so I'm not walking on the cord. Of course, the cord on this thing is on the wrong side. Opening garage door. Oh, it locked. I need a handle right here. That takes care of that. Yes, the garage door is still open, and the bottom's open, and it's open as the top, and it's not perfectly sealed, but it's still a lot less than if I just open it wide up. You there yet? Nope. Got lots of wheels. These wheels were a good bad choice. They work well. They're plenty strong. They're just too small. They're hard to get to the locks. It's better. Didn't glue the seam together very well, but oh well. Don't much matter on that thing. This I'm gonna have to pencil because I have no idea. It's already cleaned. I won't be able to tell what's done and what isn't. I'm taking much thinner passes off. A little bit of snipe, but not terrible. And I can close that garage door. The wind is just whipping in this hole. But not no more. Those look pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good. That meets up pretty darn good. Does this have glue on it? Because it was on the table. It ain't square. There's something on the bottom of this or on the table. Probably because the table's not flat, but that is okay. Wood nail saw. Okay. What's up, Punisher? Is that what it says? I don't have my glasses on. I can't read it. I was talking about a battery system where you can hook up two batteries, put an adapter, plug it into the wall. Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, I could see a use on a job site of battery-powered saw, big saws, but even then, you're relying on it. I still have they're plenty powerful enough, don't get me wrong. They just don't have the longevity. DeWalt does. The new 60 volt, their new flex fuel battery. I think the flex fuel has the charger you can plug in and run the saw while you're charging the battery. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure that the DeWalt flex fuel 6024, whatever it is, 1824 60 volt, whatever their new battery pack system is. I think you can. I think they have a charger now that it's not the standard, but I think you can buy it. But don't quote me on that. So I think now I got to figure out how I'm going to actually mount it to the bench. Like, how am I actually going to mount it to the bench? This piece. Am I just going to shoot screws down through the bench top into it? I really don't want to do that. I could lag it, which is more my style. 60 volt flex volt. Yeah, whatever. That thing, yeah. Makita is just so much lighter and easier to manhandle that if I have to put an extra battery during the day in, so be it. It's less tiring to use. I think I've said it before that when I worked for this guy over here, we did a tool test. He had some extra money he wanted to casinos, and I think he got it at the casino. He won it somewhere. And he went out and bought, because he was a big Bosch fan at the time, and he bought a full set of Bosch tools: cordless, impact, sawzall, saw, circular saw, the oscillating tools, a couple other things, whole packs. Like these were all like close to $1,000 a box. We got a set of Bosch, we got the set of Makitas, we got a set of Hitachi because I already had Hitachi, so we just topped off what I had. Porta cable, DeWalt, got like 6 or 7. Anyway, we got the sets, and we gave them to the guys. We said, try them all. We had basically like 3 small crews of 2 or 3 guys. One crew usually worked with me every day because he was a fencing guy, but he hired me to do like decking and we were doing small home, remodeling, small kitchens and bathrooms, but I usually had a guy or 2 with me. There's usually a couple of guys that just did fencing, and then there was 1 or 2 guys that kind of bounced depending on how much they had smoked crack that day, if they even showed up. Anyway, so we let them have them for like 6-8 weeks, and by the end of 8 weeks, the fencing guys grabbed the Milwaukees every day. They wanted the Milwaukees. They tried them all. They liked the Milwaukees, and justifiably so. They would last longer. So even though they were bigger and bulkier and heavier, when you're out in a field somewhere, to walk all the way back to the truck, to change a battery, to walk all the way back out in the field, you want the longest lasting, biggest battery, do anything, plus they're going through steel piping and concrete freaking core stuff, and so they wanted the biggest, barliest, nastiest battery they could, and they always wanted the Milwaukees. The guys that work with me that did decking and remodeling and stuff generally went for the Makitas because they were almost as powerful and way lighter. A lot of guys were okay with the Hitachis. The Hitachis, everyone was like, yeah, they're okay. Same with the Bosch. Bosch were just kind of eh. At the end of the 8 weeks, no one wanted DeWalt. Half the DeWalt crapped out. We'd lost the Sawzall and something else. I think the drill shit the bed by the time the 8 weeks were over. The only thing everyone loved with DeWalt, and I got to say, even though it wasn't the most powerful or the best, DeWalt's oscillating tool, the 18-volt oscillating tool, it's not the most powerful. It drives your hand nuts long-term use because it's probably the most vibrating one. But the grip, and it was a trigger, like all of mine, it has a flip-on switch, and then, you got to adjust your speed on the little wheel. It's either on or off, and then you have a speed wheel. The DeWalt is an actual variable speed trigger. So you squeeze it a little bit, and it, starts cutting. If you squeeze it a lot, it goes faster. And it's really comfortable, for the short term. It's probably vibrated. Your hand goes numb the fastest with it of all of them. The Hitachi was all right. Their oscillating tool was pretty terrible, actually. Bosch, again, was kind of It just was. Nobody hated it. Nobody loved it. It wasn't the most powerful. It was just kind of there. Porta cable was all crap by that time. What's the other brand we got? I think we got Rigid. But nobody wanted the Rigid. It was funny, though, because whoever got there first got to grab their tools. So it did 2 things. It weeded them through the tool sets, and it actually got the guys to show up in the morning. A bunch of them were borderline alcoholics, if not actual alcoholics. So they didn't show up in the morning. They didn't get their tools. So, someone else grabbed a bag of tools. They had to go for the next step down. So, yeah, the Milwaukee or the Makita were the 2 top choices. And then it was probably Bosch. And DeWalt was down at the bottom. Most guys would rather take the Hitachis than the DeWalt. Everyone's like, "Oh, DeWalt's great," because DeWalt's very popular and everyone loves them. But by the end of that 8 weeks, nobody wanted a DeWalt. Everything else was better. Should I just really snip this thing to length, just mount it? I'm not sure how I want to mount it yet. Just not sure how I want to mount it yet. Whether I want to just lag it to it or just screw it to it. And I think I want to be able to make it still come off. So it's either going to be lags or screws. I think I'm going to glue it. So if I ever have to do anything with the bench top, like pull the bench top and put it back on the CNC, because I put this on the CNC and plane the top off every now and then if it gets really bad. I've done it twice now. I can't do it with this on here. If I make it permanent, it's too tall. So if I put 3 lags across it, it's going to hold it. What do I have for lags? I don't think I have any actual lags. You know what I do have? I have timber bolts, timber screws. If I put 3 or 4 of those on there. Yeah, the older DeWalt was alright. I never liked the NiCad DeWalt. I really hated the NiCad DeWalt because they had the worst batteries of all of them. Their batteries were set up to be super ballsy right out of the box, and they'd last like 6 months and then be toast. And again, even though you use them a lot, you weren't using them like we were every single day, all day long. And you're not, even if you are using them a lot, you're not using them to the degree we were. I think those will hold. Timber locks. That's almost perfect. I could countersink it in just a little bit. I almost want to go with the longer one. I got these timber locks too. I mean, again, I'm driving stuff like this all day long. This is what that's what I got to use. This is the stuff I used to drive with, that kind of tool. I think that's a better option. It goes down into it farther. I think that's what I'm going to do right there. I think I'm going to do it right now. Just got to figure out where I'm going to put my screws in to tighten. And go from there. I'm almost thinking I should make this another layer or 2 thicker. And bring it, because I know you guys can't see it, but I might be 1.5 inches off the legs. And I could add material here. Just make this, I'm worried if I'm clamping something, this could actually kind of roll. Not that it's gonna. Because there's a beefy amount of wood there, and it is oak. I mean, DeWalt's aren't bad. You can get better for the same money. I've had DeWalt's, and there's certain tools I love DeWalt. I love my DeWalt routers. I love that DeWalt freaking planer. I loved my DeWalt chop box. Table saw. Hated their chop boxes. Their sliding miter boxes were the sloppiest pieces of junk I've ever used. You could go in and it would just wobble. I mean, all sliding miter boxes have some wobble. There's just no ifs, ands, buts. It's the way they are. They can't make them perfectly stiff and make them portable. But the DeWalt was probably the worst wobble of all. The Itachis back then were really good. I don't know if they still are because they've changed hands like 3 times since then. And the Makita was the best. Makita's gone downhill with them too. They tried to make them cheap. From my understanding, they're coming back, but the Makita miter box went way downhill for a couple of years when they went into make them cheaper. When they stopped making the 1013 was the last Makita freaking miter box that I ever saw that I really liked. There's a little bit of a bow here, and I think it's in the bench, not in this. I think I'm going to go for it. Still debating, if you can't tell. It's pretty close to flat, too. It's not absolutely perfect, but if I set this back a little, I can smooth out the table, bench. It's all rounded anyways. So if I just leave it kind of flush in the middle, it's got an arc here, I can see it. I think that's where it's going. I'm going to screw it down. Just have to figure out where my screws are going through so I don't end up hitting these with the bolt, with the actual, tightening screws to the vise. I think. Good right there. I think I'm going to snip it to length and everything. I still have the vacuum on the miter box, so that's good. I gotta find my little Milwaukee tape measure. I got a really nice little baby Milwaukee tape measure around here that I use all the time, and I set it down somewhere. Now I can't find it. That cut pretty nicely. Little blow out the back. I gotta start putting sacrificial board on there. Let's get another one of these to clamp it up there properly. After setting it where I want it, that's darn good. Go this way so I'm not catching in my way. And I put it on backwards, you dumbass. I want the seam in the back. Oh, I gotta drill all the holes in, well, I don't know. I gotta drill all the holes for the washers and the bolts and everything to actually make this work, but I still might mount this now, just for giggles. Because that's why, another reason I want to be able to take it on and off. So I can work on it. Get it the way I want it. Get it the way I want it. think that'll work. Look, even Simpson Tight likes Makita. Somewhere on here it tells me what size this drill bit is, so I don't have to go searching. And I can just grab the right one. But it's not telling me. For exterior and interior applications. What time is it? It's only 4:30. Is there anyone even watching this stupidness anymore? Oh God, there's 6 whole people, it says. Yeah, I had the Makitas a long time ago, and I went back to them. They had a stint. I didn't like them either when they were the NiCads. I did like the little. Remember the old black stick Makitas that were like 12 volt or 10 volt or something? Those were awesome. I used to have that little trim saw, the little like 2.5 inch trim saw. God, when you're up on staging and you're doing like freaking rake boards and stuff with that thing, there was nothing better. That Makita, that little itty bitty Makita, it would only do like a dozen cuts and then the battery was dead. But when you're up on staging and you got that little, you know, this big long thing with a little itty bitty blade, and you just had to do that 1 or 2 matching cut, you know, where the fascia met the rake board and you wanted it to look perfect, that was the perfect saw for that. God, I love that little saw. Basically useless here. They just actually came out with it again with the new batteries and everything. But it's not the long stick batteries. It's the regular everyday batteries, which makes it kind of stupid because the battery gets in the way. Oh, look, it even has the bit in here. Of course, it's one of those stupid bits that doesn't stay in anything. I probably have one over there that'll fit it. I guess I got to do some drilling. I might as well do all the drilling. Let's do some drilling. This is a really crappy bit. I really don't want to use that bit. I think this one's too big. It is. Oh, it's definitely too big. So I want one too big. By just a little bit. Well, the exact size. There we go. There's that. This will work for this. Yes. However, it won't go full depth. Well, I'll have to take it off and drill again. I don't know how good this bit is. It looks kind of toast. We're going to find out. I haven't used this thing in a while. I have not used this thing in a while. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a test drill into something scrappy. Like this. Make sure that is the right size. Might actually be a little too small. You're going to split it. Is it going to split it? I might not have a big monster. Whatever size that is, it's going to be. I do have a big monster to fit that. That's what this is right here, ain't it? Sure is. I should have gotten ratcheting one of these though. So it'll, ratchet. But I think I need to go up a bit size or two I don't think that's going to bite. That's the right way. Yep. But I think this is too big. I might have to get out the big fancy drill bit case. Yeah. That's grabbing, but it's too loose. Well, maybe not. It's holding pretty good. Kind of like to be in between. Yeah, because I can still see the core. I can see the shank of the freaking. I can see a gap around the shank of this where it's going in. Yes, they were like foot-long sticks. They were awesome. They were freaking awesome. I love those things. Especially back then, they were like the coolest freaking thing you could get. So really neither one of these, because I want it a little bit bigger to go through the tabletop. I want it a little bit smaller to go through. Actually, I want a little bit bigger in both. One of these days, I'm going to actually organize these things. Ah! I'd stop dropping them on the ground. I need to get another magnet. All right, which one did I just put back here? That might be too big. Because I actually want it to just slip through the tabletop. Barely grab it off. Because I want it to actually tighten. Yeah, that's too loose. I wanted to do that, just not that much. I thought it said on here what size they were supposed to be, but I don't see it. I think that's perfect for the actual gripping. Yep. I'm not seeing any light around the shank. Teeth are cutting just barely, and the shank is almost perfect to that drill hole. So this is a winner for the through drilling. This is a little too big for the tabletop. It's going to be one of these two. I want it to just pull through the tabletop, so it pulls. If the threads bite into the tabletop and the block, it'll actually gap as it goes in because it'll fight it. If it just slides through and barely catches in the tabletop, it'll pull that up to it and work. That's how a screw actually works. People always think it's got a screw into both. You actually want it to slide in the part you're clamping. A screw is a clamp. And you basically want it to slide but catch, and that's perfect. It's catching, but I can kind of just wiggle it in and out and get it to go. So that's the winner for the tabletop. And this is the winner for the actual through. And the only thing else I'm going to need after that is the recessed head, which I actually have to do first because it needs a center pin. So the next thing we got to do is go to the big fancy bits and get out the Forstners. I hope I got one small enough for that. I have to do the Forstner first. Taking this 1/2 inch. It's perfect. It looks like it is. Let's see if I can do a Forstner bit by hand. This might not be easy. Okay, I want those 2 drill bits. Does the head sit in there? It does, and that's almost perfect. It's a little bigger than the head. So I got my 3 bits. Scrap pile. I have my 3 bits. This thing can just go away temporarily because it's got nothing to do with any of it right now. All I'm worried about is this puppy. And then I have to mark it up. Let's mark it up. So the width here is about this thick, which is basically, well, 4.5, but it's only 2.5 because the tape's going to the other side. It's a little less than that. So 2.5 is 1 1/4. It puts me in the center. I'm going to have to probably move the clamps because I think I want to drill right where those clamps are. I think I want the wheel right here, right here. If I make an 8-inch wheel, I should flip this blade over. If I make an 8-inch wheel, do I want to make an 8-inch wheel? I don't think I do. I think I want a 6-inch wheel, maybe even a 5-inch. Yeah, 6-inch wouldn't be bad if I hang it low. So that means 3 inches is my minimum. I'd really like it to clear an inch. So I want the hole around there somewhere. So the circle goes here. Sitting on shit. I always do that. I put stuff in the chair and then I sit down on it, freak out when I sit on it. Getting a freaking enema. That was kind of funny. Did you guys get a laugh out of that? So, right around 4 inches I want to stay clear of. So right around 2 inches I want to drill at. And of course that's right where the clamp is. Right around 2 inches. That's right on the seam. So I think what I'm going to do is go 2.5 because they're both on the seam. In the yoke here. So if I go right at 2.5 inches, of course, the frickin' clamp's still in the way. It's going to say 6.5 centimeters. We'll do it. Six and a half centimeters. Right there. Since that just happened to fall right where I need it. And that leaves me 48 centimeters. Since that's a nice easy number, I can go 24 centimeters. I don't know if I need to put 4 or 3 in. I think I want to put 4 in. So I gotta recalculate that. 48 divided by 3 is what? 10. Okay, my brain's not working. I should know that. 48 divided by 3. How's 48 divided by 3? 16. Yes. I knew it was something stupidly simple. You're absolutely right. I knew I should have known that. But that ain't right, because it's not. Oh, it is right, because that's close enough to 16 in between. I'm not being dead on accurate as long as it's close. And then I can put my wheel right here and right here. Clear those. I like it. That's what I'm doing. I'm literally going to drill it right now. Gotta go more than that. I think that's about enough. That's about perfect. That's about perfect. I'm pretty good at this, if you haven't noticed. Normally I would take a center punch and center punch this and get exact. Honestly, not that important. I'm getting exact. And when I think I went a little too deep. Just a little bit. I'm over it. A little bit more. And I went a little too far. Oh well. Now, I want to do the little one all the way down to the clamped on oak. Smoking! Nice way to dough your bit. That will dough a bill in a heartbeat. Burning up the wood. People don't realize, yes, you're burning the wood, but if you're burning the wood, you're heating the drill bit. And that doughs it up. Alrighty then, I can unclampy clamp these. How far do I have to go? I need to go that deep, which is 2 inches. Actually, leave that on there. I'm gonna clamp these so it doesn't just drop on my toe. And when I get my hand on it, I can grab it and unclamp that one. Now I got these holes. I want to go approximately 2 inches. Silver will show up on the black. So basically I want to go pretty much the full depth of the bit. Pretty much if I go the full depth, it probably won't matter. And drain. And drain. I bet that drove it. sure which direction I want to put it out. No, I'm going to go that way. It goes right there. And then I get 2 wheels. I think it was a ton. And here's my threaded rod. So on that note, I've been streaming for what, 3 or 4 hours? 3 hours? 2 hours? 2 hours and 20 minutes. I'm gonna be done. Maybe I'll hit the cutting board with another layer of oil. It looks dried out already. This is dried out already? It's got a little bit of a slime coat on it. I think it's done absorbing the oil for now. Put this away and this away because I am done for the night, I think. Although I might come back out here now that I'm freaking excited to have the Moxon vise. I'll come back out here later tonight. I really want that Moxon vise done. I want a vise on this bench. I want dog holes in a vise. I want it done. I want to be able to clamp to the bench. I don't know if I did this right or not, but I'm kind of just winging it. I should have been recording this, made a YouTube video, but that's life. I just hit that with the belt sander right there. That'll take that off. It's a little sticking out right here, but I can see the edge of this bench. It's actually pretty straight until it gets right about here, and it comes out. And it follows that, so that would be that. That would be that. And that looks like it'll work. So now I have to figure out how I'm going to mount this thing. My plan was to drill 2 holes. So this goes through there. Inset one of these in the backside here. And I'm thinking I might actually do 2, because originally I bought 4. And I was going to use 1 on the wheel, on the handle wheel. But I think I'm actually going to do 2 on here, because I think I'm going to make the handle wheel on the CNC, and then I can use the grub screw to hold it to the handle. I may even, once I figure out the actual length I want to do it, I may even grind it square, put a square end on it. When I cut it, I'll give it square or 6-sided and fit it to the handle, to the hand wheel. I think that'll work. I'm going to have to take it all back apart again and clean it all up, but I think it'll work. I do. I do. Then I got to put a row of dog holes in here. And the dog hole in the top of this. I actually think I'm going to put another small, like 1/2-inch block and then put the dog hole out here. I don't know. I'll just put a dog hole in it. Screw it. It's supposed to be beveled a little bit, but I don't know if I'm going to. Yeah, you're supposed to bevel it, so if you're running a plane, you don't catch the plane on the edge of the thing. You're doing like a side planing, but I don't do hand planing generally. I should start. I could do it. I'm just not that good at it, which is why I never did it, because I'm not good at it. But if I probably tried doing it some more, I'd probably get better at it. Going back and forth between coffee and water. So anyway, that was fun. We got some stuff done. Tomorrow, I'm probably going to stream again. Oh, I can't. Mom's got doctor's appointments all day tomorrow. She's got like 3 of them in a row. One in the morning, one in the lunchtime, and one in the afternoon. Which is alright, because I just get it all done. It sucks, but it's all done in one day, and that's that. So I don't think I will be streaming. Maybe later. And actually, I think there's 2 in the morning. Uh-oh. What did I lose? Just disconnected my headset, didn't it? I think this headset just ran out of power. Well, it says it's still connected. It just said disconnected. I think that disconnected. I wonder if I was actually connected through the phone and not here. That might have been the problem, because I usually use these with the phone out there. Anyway, you got 3 doctor apps tomorrow too? Yeah, well, you got actual issues. I mean, not that my mother doesn't have actual issues, but these are just checkups. You got actual issues. You're all strapped up and bolted down and rebuilt like I used to be. Brian, just in time for me to close. I'm literally talking about killing the stream. What is up, Mr. Brian Vines? How is life in Texas? Are you anywhere near all the tornadoes and all that crap? Did you get hit by tornadoes? I know they were all over the news last night that Texas was in like hurricane tornado-y like danger weather. My life is okay. I didn't get the lights done. I was going to add a light. As you can see, it's really bright over by that door. You can see the bright light on the door, and you can't see the bright light on that door. Because there should be a light over there. And it's all wired. I just got to go up there and hang it. Too far away? That's good, in a way. I'm glad you're not anywhere near it. Sucks for those people that are. I think my phone shut down. Just over there clicking, saying all kinds of bad things. Anyway, on that note, oh yeah, it's dark here already. It's been dark for like a half an hour. I mean, I can see the sky. I can see the outline of the trees in the sky, but yeah, the sun's down. Yes, it's dark out already. It's 5:30. 5 o'clock. I thought it was 5:30. It's 5 o'clock. Still time to kill it, because I got to go in and deal with Mom and dinner and all that happy horse shit. So on that note, thanks for joining. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for listening to me babble while I half-ass built my little fence over here that you can't see now because the other camera crapped out. And you all have a good evening. I may come back out. If I'm feeling energetic, I'm really kind of excited to get this thing done. At least figure out what I'm doing, because I still have to I started designing the hand wheels for this. This is going to, just so you know, Brian, this is a Moxon vise I'm building on the end of the bench here. It's going to go down here. And I just mounted the mounting plate, which I'm going to have to unmount, which is why I didn't glue it or anything. It's just screwed. And I got to make the 2 wheels. It's going to be a Moxon vise, one of those ones that has 2 wheels. You screw in and screw out, and it clamps down. I'm building a Moxon vise for my bench because I want a vise and I want a Moxon vise, and I'm building it by hand. You can buy the kits, but it's like, this is like $8 for all the bolts and the rod, and you can buy the kit, which is basically just this with a fancy handle, and they're like $100. And I'm like, no. Yeah, I mean, for even the cheap ones, they're like $75, $80. And I'm like, no, I can build it and make it prettier and nicer and all that. I mean, they do have some fancy features, and I think they actually use a beefier rod that's a little bit nicer than this, but I don't care. Yes, it's the Llama Vice Squad. That it will be. So on that note, I have to kill it and go make mom dinner. And the more I'm thinking about it, if I'm not dead tired after dinner, and I am kind of tired already, I may come back out and stream again and keep working on it. But I wouldn't count on it because I have to map out in my brain how it's going to actually work. And that's just not going to happen right away. My brain don't work that well. It just don't work that well. I have to encapsulate the nut somehow. I'm off. Later, guys.